That's it.
That's my message to
Um,
all the kiddos. Every time I see my nieces, my two oldest nieces, I ask them, "What is life about?" And they know the answer. It's not what you do, it's who you are.
and and that's gonna even if it hasn't fully like that seed hasn't fully
Oh,
started,
it won't hit till they
they'll
35.
get it.
Yeah,
They'll be
but it'll
driving
hit
down the
though.
street and they'll be like,
I get it.
yeah.
I was tripping. Okay, I'm not tripping no more.
That's why teachers are so important, man. I can't tell you how many times
Man,
like a student will hit me up and be like, "Oh, you said this after class." I'll be like, "I don't even remember that."
what's up, wide world? Welcome back to the Expression of Love podcast. It is your host, Soul Expression indeed, and I'm very excited, very happy that you are still here rocking with us. Welcome to episode 9. I am interviewing one of the first inspirations and like inspiration motivators of my time here in Texas. Brother by the name of Chaka. Chaka is a really good friend of mine. Him and his wife are a part of Riders Against make up Riders Against the Storm. Um, and I'm gonna read his bio. Known as a creative catalyst, Jonathan Chaka Mahone has a strong background in event production, curriculum development, multimedia content creation, visual art, songwriting, music production, and youth empowerment through arts. As a performing artist, he has traveled the world as one half of award winning hip hop duo Riders Against the Storm, aka Ross. As co founder of Divine and Conjure Enterprises, LLC, a production company with a focus on empowering audiences through creative events, films, music, and more, he applies his creative talents for upliftment. After years of service in the Austin community, his work was recognized by South by Southwest via their 2020 Dewey Winburne Community Service Award. If I said that first name wrong, I apologize, but I think it's Dewey Winburne Community Service Award, and by DivInc in 2021 via their Champion of the Year Award. Always an advocate for musicians and artists, Mahoney founded DAWA, Diversity Awareness and Wellness in Action, in 2019 to provide a safety net for people of color that are experiencing short term life crises. More specifically, people of color who are musicians, artists, social workers, teachers, health healing practitioners, and service industry workers. His leadership as the first African American chair of Austin's Music Commission ensured necessary equity safeguards were in place to protect the city's underserved populations while ushering in a historic vote to directly fund musicians via the Live Music Fund. You can check out um, all of the links in the description to find out more about Shaka as well as his many hats that he wears over these other organizations. But I personally know Shaka as a really cool, really inspiring energy to be around. A divine, you know, light in my life as well as my wife's life. He's been friends with us for years, and I'm really excited for y'all to see this episode. Check it out. One. Hello, everybody in the world. Welcome back to the Expression of Love podcast. And man, do I have a whole lot of love in my heart right now for my next interview guest. And I'm super excited because I'm here with like one of my first inspirations that I ran into since moving down here to Texas. Brother by the name of Shaka. What's happening, Shaka? What's going on, baby?
Hey, what it do, man? We out here. It's good to be here, man. In this
Yo, it's
virtual
so good to have
space,
you
you
on the
know?
show. Since I've met you, since I've known you, you have been like nothing short of a great inspiration. Also, like a motivator. You know what I'm saying? Like we have had conversations. Just me and you have had conversations where you've helped reignite the fire in my own initiatives while you were doing 50 11 things yourself, um And shout out to Key, your lovely queen. You know what I'm saying? Key is a whole nother force. Definitely would love to have both of you on one time on the show, so we can chat it up
Let's do it.
and get Key over here for a solo joint. But
Let's do it.
um, man, you have so much going on, and you always have had so much going. Or at least since I've known you, you've had so much going on. But you're like the most chill brother ever. How does that even work? How do you
um,
how do you it's like I save the bandwidth that would be for all of my loud talking and I just put that into my work. Like how does
Nailed it, man. You nailed it. I'm not like a big talker. I'm about to walk, you know. Walk it like I talk it. That's a great
Mhm.
song. I love it. You know what I'm saying? At least the hook. The verses ain't really saying much. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope hook. You know, walk it like I talk it, man. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much it, man. You know, I don't know. I think it's just my nature. Maybe it's because I'm a Libra. Maybe it's my soul, what I was born with. But I've never been attracted to like a whole like the people that's all the big talker. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
all right, let me see what you're doing. Let me see where you at. And
Yeah.
it's more like
Some people got both. Like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart. They're two brothers that that I am a fan of that have like both.
right.
They got the loud, but they also got the focus, the work, the drive.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people just talking, man, or just typing. You know what I'm saying? These days, just doing this, but it's like it's about putting the rubber to the road, and man, like I just really enjoy what I create.
Mhm.
MCing, rapping is like is when I get loud.
Right.
Uh, at throwing parties and stuff, that's when I get loud. But like in general, like I just enjoy the process of creating, being a creator. I enjoy the process of seeing things in my mind or having feelings and then seeing them out in the world in a physical reality that really
Yeah.
like charges me up. I love that feeling of knowing like, wow, like 2 years ago, this was just a thought and now it's a whole
It's a
entity.
whole manifestation. It's a
Right.
whole thing. That yeah. I completely can see that and I've been blessed to watch you do that in many different ways. Why don't you go ahead and start us off with some of the things that you've been blessed to do? I know you've probably hosted 1,000 parties by now, if not more.
Yeah,
Like, but it's not just parties. It's not just like everybody get together, drink, and then go home. It's like when
yeah,
Ross throws a party, y'all. When Ross throws a party,
yeah.
even if you are back to the wall, you are enjoying yourself. You're feeling uplifted. You're feeling the energy. The vibe is ridiculous. But it's not just parties for you. But why don't you tell the people like what's going on with you, what's going on in Texas, internationally, and all of that right now.
I mean, in terms of the party, like we came down to Austin like 12 years ago. Before we came to Austin, we didn't necessarily have a lot of money, but we always had a lot of energy and a lot of vibes. So like we would have house parties and like, I don't know if you remember when we had like the 6 disc changer. You probably remember that. The 6 disc changer,
Yeah.
like it would like rotate or whatever. So we had that. We didn't, wasn't no DJs, like we had mixed CDs and we would be like, you know what I mean? Just you ain't ready for this. Wait, hold on. We got, what I mean? Just you know what I mean? And just, but it was the energy. Like my wife would throw these, like it was like literally like in our bathroom, she would do like art shows and she would do tours. Like if you can imagine like 2 or 3 people going into a bathroom and then coming out like, wow, that was amazing. Like we just like with what we had, we made it into something like an experience. And
Mm,
so we've always been those type of people. So like before we came down, like, people would experience these house parties and just be so energized by them. And we started to realize that, we had something together that was really special. It was you our combination made other people feel uplifted, made other people feel good, made other people um yeah, just feel good and just in
yeah.
general. And so
So you and Key were a thing before Austin.
oh yeah, and we
Okay.
we realized that, we've been married 15 years and our
Mhm.
son Mbele was born on our 15-year wedding anniversary. So um before we
Ain't
came
that
down to
beautiful?
before we came down to Austin, it was like we realized that we had something. And then Austin has been about like really turning that into a career. It's been about like figuring out the business of it. because when we throwing those house parties, we weren't charging nobody, but it's like now we throwing parties, we have to make money off of this. We're investing a certain amount of time, we're investing a certain even our own funds and things like that. So this has to become a business. But it's always started with that initial energy of us wanting to bring people together, us wanting to celebrate and empower people and just have a good time. But we feel like there can be a purpose in the party. You can build
Mm-hmm.
community, you can uplift spirits, you can heal, you can find a place to really let go and shake off some of the expectations of the world, some of the burdens of the world, some of the heavy responsibilities of the world, and also break out of the mundane kind of um,
Yeah.
traditional status quo thing that you have to be a part of sometimes to even quote unquote just exist in this
Mm-hmm.
capitalist society. So, it's like we brought all that down to Austin, and then like things like Body Rock became institutions because like that was the foundation. It was like this is an experience that you're not gonna forget. This is not just a party. Now you're gonna meet someone, you're gonna hug someone, you're gonna shout, you're gonna scream, you're gonna dance, you're gonna shake something off, and it grew from that. We started the party second Wednesday of the month. There was a no cover charge. We are getting 20% of the bar. Some nights we would come back with like $40, and we grew it into a whole institution where our last party before the pandemic was over 800 people. So, but it all starts from that nucleus, that nuclear energy of like we don't care. We got six disc changer and we got people and we're gonna make it live. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's the root of everything that anyone sees from us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't start with the money is just it's a creation. It's a
Yeah.
concept, and so like money comes to us through the things that are integral to what we bring to the world. And so like we don't make moves to make money. We make moves to fulfill our purpose, and then the money comes through that. And we've been blessed to have a sustainable career, not just in music, but through the events and things that
Yeah.
we do, and that leads to things like DAWA and other things.
Yeah. And I think that money is like social media in a way that it's like a connector. Like you can use money just like you can use social media in the complete wrong way, and you can spend all of your connection energy like the wrong way and get no returns for it. Versus if you focus on the connection, connecting with people, connecting with movements, connecting with forces, right? Like not trends and fads, but something behind that that's like moving in a certain kind of way, connecting with that and tapping in to the universal energies, the collective energies of the human story, then the money's whatever's necessary will just show up. And
Exactly, 100%. So it's all about that, and just trusting. We went through some hard times for sure, where it's like
mhm,
it was very you know very challenging, dark at times.
mhm,
Where we lost, or just became very doubtful about whether we could actually do what we felt like we were here to do, or whether this was actually something that we were just creating in our own mind and it wasn't real. It's just like you
that
get
self
challenged.
doubt show up, huh?
But we just stuck with it. Like it was always one of us that was like stronger in the moment than the other one that could like kind of carry the other one forward throughout the journey. Like I don't think either one of us could have kind of done it without each other. So it's
Hmm.
just like having that bond and that shared goal and that shared purpose, like just kept us moving forward.
We talked about that in a well, we talked about like the sacredness of marriage, the sacredness of a partnership that's romantic but functional, like good. I don't know, like a good marriage, a good relationship, a good partnership. And yeah, that what makes it sacred is sort of that balance that neither one of you is ever going to be at 100, but finding that wave where even if you're down at 10, that person will show up at 90, and they also expect you and know and love you for showing up at 90 when they're all the way down at 10. You're not always going to be at 10. You're not always going to be at 90, but that, just being able to balance out like that, like a scale that weighs things, is definitely, it's a sacred thing, because there's like no words that you can really put to explain how a good relationship works, right? You just, like, the love has to be there, a little bit of self-awareness has to be there, but really it's just a natural balancing act, continuous balancing act, and growth. And
Well, I mean, I think it's really it's work. That's what gets left out. It's
yeah,
just it's work, man. Like you have to. There's no way to go through a real loving relationship and not be hurt. You know, and so you have to work to get through the hurt, some of the damage that you inflict on each other. And it's not. I'm not talking about physical or whatever,
nah, yeah,
spiritual or emotional. You bring emotional traumas and things into the relationship. And you have to be, the love is what encourages you to do the work. It's work, and you have to communicate, and you have to listen, and you have to let down your defense mechanisms, and you have to learn what has really harmed you in life. You have to really know your story and what really is creating the issues in your relationship. You have to go into those
yeah.
things, and like it's work. And most people, they're not. It's like going to the gym. Like everybody don't go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. It's a commitment. It's a discipline, and it's a sacrifice.
Right.
All
It's
right,
like when
good
people
people, we
say,
back again. We back again. It is an exciting time. You already know what time it is. It is officially the moment that we introduce the expression of rhyme. That's right. It's officially time for the expression of rhyme, the newest segment of my podcast where I interject a rap verse into the episode that focuses on one or more aspects of the conversation that my guests and I are engaging in at the time. Make sure you comment your favorite line from this segment and like and subscribe if you have not had the chance already. And as always, look out for the next one. Check it out. What does it mean to be the example? To see the forest through the trees? To live in a way that explores what it means to not explain your steps, but to have your actions teach factions of a fractured populace? It ain't an obvious answer, but to not ask at all is preposterous. What is life about? Not what you do, but who you are. Not how you move, but how you chart. Not if you succeed or if you fail, but how you pivot when you didn't hit the mark. You get it. The words are less important than the meaning behind. That's why it ain't one person that I'm leaving behind. Freedom is a need, and when you seek it, the vine of the divine is made available to swing and to climb. The man most sure of his path walks in darkness. They don't avoid danger, they just focus on the target. Yeah, because that's what happens when you create your own market and your only enemy is stagnation of the heart. We conquer fear around here. King energy. Stand on principles to find our own destiny. And I'll be clear now here. I see expressions of love all around me, and I'll add to the serenity. And shout out to Chaka for today's conversation. It inspired the lyrics I'm throwing into rotation. So pass your favorite line around like it's a blunt and show them how we get down on the expression of love. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Sacrifice.
right. It's like when people say love is a choice. It's like, yeah, it's a feeling also, but it's also the feeling is not going to be there, but the love should still be there. So sometimes you got to just, same with happiness, right? Sometimes you just got to choose it, and it's not there as a feeling
Right.
at all. Like
One hundred
you feel
percent.
horrible, you feel miserable, you feel lost, whatever it is.
One
But
hundred
you're
percent.
choosing happiness, you're choosing love, you're choosing compassion. Speaking of compassion, my brother,
Yeah.
you have started something that has potential times a billion. Um, what is DAWA as a movement, and then what is it as a nonprofit? Is nonprofit, right?
It's a nonprofit. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it as a movement first, and then as a nonprofit, and how to get started?
So, like my mentors are like African storytellers, the gatherers of the people, the storytellers. And, community organizers and Black Panthers. So like these are the people that taught me. Of course, I had other mentors, but these are the people that influenced me most in my development, in my core development years. And so like the community organizing and Black Panther side is like it's like we belong to each other, and it doesn't matter. Like if you're doing well, and your neighbor's not doing well, then you're not doing well. It's just period. You know, you can deflect and try to act like this person is separate from you, but we're all on this one planet together, and there's no separation. We create it in our minds, but it's no separation between any of us. Like something you do in your little room is going out into the world one way or the other. So we have been disconnected from that truth through whether it be capitalism or white supremacy or any of the programs that have been installed, the software that's been installed into our systems. And so we operate in a way that's very mechanical and robotic and very mindless and heartless. So DAWA is basically about being in the heart, understanding that we belong together, that we're all valuable, and really taking action on that. So DAWA in Swahili, it means medicine. And the acronym is diversity, awareness, and wellness in action. So diversity in action, awareness in action, wellness in action. Action, not thought in action. Okay. And celebrating and empowering the people in our communities that are on the front lines giving every day. And I see the role of the artist as being on the front line giving every day. I see, social workers and teachers and healthcare providers. They're on the front line. Where will we be without that? Where will we be without art and music to help us understand our lives? So these are all essential roles that are typically undervalued. So as a community, without those individuals, we would be lost. And so what DAWA does is it just recognizes that, and also recognizes that journey, if that's your passion, can often be very difficult because these positions or these roles in our society are not highly valued and they're not highly compensated. And so, you could be very successful.
What are some of the roles? My bad.
Social workers, teachers, musicians, artists, healthcare providers. Like you can work, doing a tremendous service to the elderly or disabled. These jobs are not highly compensated, and that could be your passion. Like, look, I really have a concern and care for this group of our community, and this is what I want to do with my life. But what society tells you is that's not a very valuable thing to do. You're not producing a gadget, a widget. You're not creating more wealth. So you're not valuable. And that's the message we get. Like, you want to be a teacher, like, why? Get a real job, but teachers, they if
they
they're
are
doing
on the front line.
if they're doing their
the
job, then they are definitely like a second or third or fourth parent or family member, really trying to pull out your strengths and guide you, right? So
massively undervalued for sure.
We're just disconnected from the importance of those roles. So we kind of get what we get as a society. People are really feeling isolated and not connected and they can't find their purpose because, we value money over everything, over the very planet that we're standing upon. So it just recognizes that. And so what I was doing after our careers became stable and there were things in place where we could count on basically rent payments and things to be like we would do one thing and that would like pay our rent type of situation, and our career was sustainable. We were really bringing in money to sustain ourselves and save, and we had an abundance going on. We went from survival to thriving. Now like I'm in a position where, okay, like if I hear a friend's in trouble, like I can send them $200 and it ain't nothing. It's nothing. I'm not even thinking about it. Oh, boom, you need help. Boom, it's going out. Cash out what you need. But as I was doing that, more and more, I'm helping people more and more behind the scenes. I'm looking around and I'm like, well, why isn't there an organization that's doing this? Like, why, I know I know we do this for each other, but when we need help, it's like, oh, here's $20, here's $50, whatever you can give. I know we do this for each other, but why isn't there an organization that's doing this where, people of color that are in these roles, these artists, musicians, teachers, etc., can go shame-free and just say, hey, look, I need some financial assistance right now. And boom, yeah, because we see you, we value you. It's not even a question. Boom, here it is. Like it's done deal. Like no problem. We hope, God bless on you on your journey.
Yeah.
There was just nothing out there, and I was just like, this is not cool. Like there should be.
Yeah.
And so my plan was not to start an organization. My plan was just to throw parties because that's what I love to do. That's one of the things I love to do, and raise money at the parties. And then when I got to like $10,000, just give it away. So in 2019, I threw a party on my birthday. We raised $3,000. After that, I set up a relationship with an organization called the Austin Community Foundation. They were the nonprofit where if people made a donation, it could be tax deductible. And I set up a website. I set up an Instagram. And I just kind of like kept it moving. And like people were donating slowly but surely. By the end of that year, I had about $6,000. I wasn't pushing anything super hard. It was just like something I was just like
organically growing.
Yeah, just kind of like, all right, boom, we out here, Then the pandemic hit, then George Floyd hit. And a lot of people out there may not know, but like a lot of social justice organizations, when George Floyd happened, got flooded with money. Like everybody was trying to like do something all of a sudden and trying to help, everybody was feeling like they needed to help. And so within, weeks of that, I had $50,000 donated. So then in June of 2020, we did our first disbursement. We gave out $40,000 in that round. And then we've given out $153,000 in the past, 2.5 years since we started. And we also just recently announced the launch of a studio where we're going to give free access to a creative content studio for people of color that are in those roles I talked about, workers, the teachers, the artists, the creatives, and the organizations that, serve those communities. So
that's beautiful.
All that from, just like, just wanting to do something and just help out and give back. The action part, right?
Right. Action. Diversity, awareness.
And wellness. Well, diversity,
awareness, wellness,
and action.
Yeah. Man, wow. That's what's and to like see it take shape probably in what felt like a forever, but it wasn't that long. It was relatively very fast.
It didn't feel long at all. Like,
it didn't?
No, it's been like it's to me, it was just like again, like it's very organic. Like I was just like, okay, if I throw a party, I know like a few hundred people gonna come out. If I charge them between $10 and $15, that's $2,000, $3,000 if I don't have any venue costs or whatever. And then at the event I can make an additional pitch. So I'm thinking like, I can make between at least 2, maybe even 5 per event, like minimum, right? So I'm just like, I can do that. I can, promote an event every now and then and just, raise money. And that was my concept from the beginning. But it just grew. Once I saw the need. I mean, obviously I knew the need, but once I really felt it like strong, and I saw the community's response to it, and just like they're wanting this to exist and they're wanting this to grow, then I kind of went with that. It was like a wave, and it just kind of like pushed me up higher, and it just allowed me to use the influence and the energy that I had to like keep it moving.
On the chance that this episode of the podcast blows up and gets 1 billion views, how can people connect with DAWA to either give or to reach out and apply if they need?
Yeah, man. Just go to dawahills.org, DAWAHEALS.org. The application is not open currently. We're working on building our infrastructure so we can distribute funds digitally, because what we've been doing in the past 3 rounds is we've been sending out these Visa cards, these $200 Visa cards. It's like a gift card that you get in the mail. But it costs $2 for the card. It costs about $4 to send it out with the confirmation, everything, the tracking number and everything. And so, we want to cut down on those costs so we can give more. But we also know that like most people are digital at this point. So we're going to offer both physical and digital, but really try to do mostly digital, because like once we get the application and we read it and you have all the information, you can get it that day, and so we're working towards that type of system. So please, if you go to the website and you want to apply, then just fill out the information. And once it's available, once the funds are available, you will be contacted and you can apply. And then there's an opportunity to donate right there on the website too.
Wonderful, 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 man. And while that was springing up, you've always, multifaceted people just intrigue me. I mean, I guess I'm one of them, but
Yeah, you are.
I got my y'all just intrigue me. Like I see this picture over your right shoulder of it looked like you, really. Yeah. Almost. And that turned
It's
into
a
a
reflection.
whole clothing line, turned into a whole thing. Like just in the midst of the body rocks and the DAWAs. I don't know which one probably started first in terms of an
The
idea.
clothing line happened there. So Body Rock started. We got to Austin in 2009. We started Body Rock December, like
No, I
the end
know
of.
body rock was first in terms
So
of
that was 2010,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
clothing line started 2017. And
Mm,
basically, I'm a visual artist, so like people, I think there's gonna be a video, but like this is a beer can that I designed
okay.
for Black Art Weekend. So I'm a visual artist. Before anything, I've been drawing since I can remember. Um, but when I was performing, Body Rock, I'm out there once a month, and Rise, I would like usually, because we didn't have a lot of money at a certain point, so I would like, take a shirt, sew something on it, or I would, paint on it, and people were always like, "Hey man, where did you get that?" type of thing. And be like, "Yo, I painted this like a couple hours before the show, but thank you." And then there's something called print on demand that started happening, and so like you could like just upload a design, they'll print it and ship it for you, and you just kind of like put what you want to sell it for. And so I found out about that in 2017. So I was like,
Hmm.
it's really not a lot of risk in that. Like you don't have to pay anything up front,
Right.
and you can kind of just explore and just see. So that's how I started with the clothing line. It was that simple. I bought the domain and then connected that to the Shopify and all that type of stuff. And it was doing okay. Like it wasn't going crazy, but like it was a starting point. And then during the pandemic, it really started to go crazy. I guess because people were home and like just like online more. I don't know, but things
Well, yeah.
really.
I mean, online shopping from 20 what was it 2018 to 2021 was like 7,000% increase, something crazy online
Yeah,
shopping.
yeah, so it just started going crazy when during the pandemic. So it allowed me to invest more, and now I'm not doing the print on demand anymore. I'm actually creating the clothes myself, which means that I'm like sampling. I'm not like manufacturing the clothes. I find the manufacturers and the factories and research them, and then get samples from them, like the materials. Like this is a sweatshirt t-shirt concept that I'm going to be coming out with in the fall, but like I had to sample this and print on it and just like feel it, wash it, go through the process of like what the user is gonna, or what the uh, consumer is going to be experiencing. So I had to do that with each product because I really want to take pride in it now. I really wanted to
Yeah.
have my touch, and the embellishments and little things, they all matter to me. So like I'm investing more. I took the money that I got from the online stuff and then I invested it. So now like I'm paying, the manufacturers, and I'm paying the screen printers and the embroiderers and everything like that. So there's a risk involved, but I took the time over those 4 years to develop a community that already kind of is connected to the brand. So
Right.
I'm almost sold out of my first collection. I just did a pop-up at a shoe store that was really successful. Just keeping it moving. I have also something that's probably going to be happening with Macy's in February. So, you know, just keeping that moving, man. Like
Right. Right.
feeling like, the thing every step of the way with the clothing is like, so I was in a Macy's incubator. So it's a program, it's a national program. There's thousands of applicants and they chose 26 brands and I was chosen for that. And so like those moments is like, because as someone that's not just a visual, but you're a visual artist, you're not really in the clothing world, you're not really I'm not into fashion like some people are into fashion. I like the social aspect of it. I like the community aspect of fashion, whereas people wear it and they feel connected to each other.
Yeah.
But this logo itself is about the zebra already is a unique animal in the animal kingdom, but then you notice that it has dots on it, so it's spotted and striped. So this is about like that just embracing that thing that makes you you, like you're one of one. And so like a spotted and striped zebra happens every once in a while, but it's like embracing that every once in a while that you are and that we all are. So it's that's the intention behind it. It looks cool, but like that's the meta information, and
Mm-hmm.
that's sewn in spiritually to the
Right.
design. And people connect with it, and I love that because like that's part of what's in there. So they're getting it whether they know it or not. They like the visual of it, they like how it looks and how it feels. That's great. But then when they see each other, there's a connection. It's like, oh yeah, we're part of something together. And I love that. That's what I love the most about it. It's not like
Absolutely.
it's not about, you know, fashion can become very like ego driven and very like, I'm stunting, that type of thing. Now, for me, it's about like the connection, the community that it builds. And I guess just a running theme through all the things I do.
I was getting ready to say is everything is coming back to the word connection, and not just the word, but like they wouldn't have grown if you weren't naturally about that. Like natural, if you didn't naturally reach out to people and talk to people and tell them what you think and listen to what they think and just have that in you.
That's that's the big part.
What,
That's the
listening?
big part is like getting the feedback, listening to people,
Yeah.
how they respond, because that's what guided me. That's the thing. Hip hop, people don't understand like hip hop is a deep science because it's about call and response. You know what I'm saying? It's like I give you something, you give me
Absolutely,
something,
I know.
you give me something back. It's a back and forth,
Yeah.
and that's what elevates us, right?
Yep.
So just take that into your daily life. It's a call, you have to respond. There's a call and response, there's an energy, it's a back and forth. So people are telling you something about yourself all the time, but are you listening?
Hmm.
Are you really listening? It's like so
Right.
many times people are like, oh, I like that. I like that. So I'm like, I got something here.
Right.
It's not like I
And
just want
and
to
and
create.
and I think it's a balance of the two as well, because if you don't introduce your own uniqueness into it, then it's not hot. So yeah, some of it has to be a response to what you're getting from the street, but then also the other half of it got to be from the heart, because it's not going to be hot. There's going to be something a little too familiar about it. It's not going to ignite
Right.
something new. It's not going to inspire something in
Exactly.
somebody. So like a balance between the call and the response.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Hip hop is deep, man. I've learned so many lessons through hip hop. It's like one of my greatest teachers for real.
Yeah. No, I mean it's kind of a dream of mine to have KRS on here one day.
Hey, I
Um,
see it. It's a done deal, bro.
that's the teacher right there, man. You
It's
know
a
what
done
I'm saying?
deal. Yeah,
Um,
we've opened for him several times. We hung out with him. Like his energy is incredible, man. Like
it's
I
huge through the screen.
yeah, it's just
Like what a guy.
I saw him do like a 2 hour show. Like they basically had to like cut off. It was like we gotta shut this club down. We gotta shut the
Like,
venue.
bro, we got to clean up, bro.
Yeah, like for real. Like they just cut the mic, and then he comes backstage and he's freestyling with people backstage. Like his energy is just he's like a big kid.
Hmm.
And it's great. It's great. It's powerful. Like you can see, like just how he is hip hop. Like he says.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, yeah. So that's like one of my podcast goal. It's a goal, but it's also like a dream. Like you know what I'm saying.
Ah, bro, that's a
I'm
done
gonna feel
deal.
like something. I get KRS One
That's
on
a
here.
done deal, bro. Trust.
Um,
That's already done.
but speaking of hip hop, though, speaking of hip hop, Riders Against the Storm is a unique sound. Is it's a party, but like not your everyday party kind of sound. Like y'all definitely a party hip hop genre, if that's a thing. It's like if I can create that real quick, y'all are party hip hop. But at the
Mm.
same time, there's a lot of KRS One. There's a lot of ancient wisdom. There's a lot of cultural wisdom. There are some community solutions sprinkled out, at least
Right.
you know, on a basic like foundational kind of fundamentals level.
Right.
And so y'all will get the party started with the beat and the rhythm and the cadence of how you flowing together and stuff like that. But there's always knowledge. There's always wisdom. There's always a sprinkle of culture, a deep culture, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
In the music, like, can we get into the story of Ross for a little bit? Because
Yeah.
man, like, I mean, I meet people at Ross events. You know, like
Yeah.
it's crazy how wonderful y'all's events are, but they're so regular. They're so down to earth. Yeah, I don't mean regular plain. I
Yeah.
mean
No, I
regular,
got
like
you.
regular people be there, but it's like the right regular people are attracted to Roz shows.
Yeah. I mean, so like I said, like our mentors were like community folks, folks that encourage that. Our name comes from a group called Sweet Honey in the Rock, which is an all black female a cappella group. And they started singing in the 60s, like freedom songs and stuff to like motivate folks as they were marching and just motivate people to continue in the struggle and the fight for justice. And they continue on to this day. But they have a song called Ella Song, which is a tribute to Ella Baker. And Ella Baker was a civil rights activist and stuff, and she was a leader. And they took some words from one of her speech, and in the song they talk about passing the torch to the young who will run against the storm. So we chose Riders Against the Storm because my parents actually met at a Urban League conference. So they were involved in civil rights activism and things like that. And so like I literally felt like the torch was passed to me by them. I'm the generation that, they gave the torch to. So I have a responsibility to carry that. And it has a certain amount of weight to it. And it has just a certain amount of just responsibility to it. And so, we take that seriously. And we feel like our music is a is a healing force. It's a connective force. But most people when they see us perform, if they never seen us before, they say that it's refreshing. This is
It is,
so
man.
so refreshing. And like I think it's just I feel like that's for me personally, like when I started getting involved in hip hop, like first I would usually write raps, but I was always scared to kind of spit them out loud. So I got into it like through beatboxing. So I would
Huh.
I would be beatboxing in the ciphers. And over a certain amount of time, I started to get more courage and spit a little bit, try to get in
Right.
it. But it was that energy of just what I mean, and just that feeling when you're in that cipher and everybody's just like letting go and just it was community, man. And so that energy never left me. Like it's that every time I step on stage, I want to get back into that. Like, oh, we out here, yeah. Y'all feel good. I feel good. Oh, you know what I mean? That's what I want every time, And so that's again like that's the origin story. Like it starts there, and like we built a career from that feeling that we had, and so yeah, that's Riders Against the Storm, man. I mean, we've done a lot in the city in terms of just like being the first hip hop band to ever win a band of the year, the Austin Chronicle. We run it 3 years in a row.
Shout
Um,
out.
we blaze a trail with the Blues on the Green, which historically had never had a hip hop group headline. Well, we didn't headline, we co-headline a Blues on the Green. And for folks that don't know, like that's a summer event here that typically, historically, it was just pretty much blues and rock and bluegrass and stuff like that, country. But the year that we played was the first year that Hip Hop Act. This was 2015. Now that may sound crazy to y'all, but that's how the city was and still is in certain ways, where they
Mhm.
just don't really recognize hip hop as an art as the incredibly transformative art form that it is.
Right.
So
Or they're just ignorant because there's a lot of foolery with radio stations and
well, yeah, I mean, what they'll say is that it's not going to sell tickets, so people aren't going to show up, and
right.
then when you prove them wrong, because for these folks, it's like we're just entertainment. Like this isn't just black people. It's like it's just we're just pieces that it's just to fill a room. It's entertainment. So they don't the deeper spiritual and psychological and things. That's not what they're in this for. So like
Yeah.
they're sometimes it's not even just straight up racism. It's just like you said, it's their ignorance that they don't even know that hip hop is the biggest genre. And like you live in such a bubble that
They have no idea.
that you really don't know that Kendrick Lamar just won a Pulitzer Prize. You know what I'm saying? So it's just their limited thinking, and it was somewhat surprising to interact with that when we got here, and then navigating through that, cutting through that was definitely challenging, to say the least. But what we knew we were doing was we were blazing trails for people coming behind us. So it was going to be easier for Ufulu Child or someone else to come in and be their full selves, than it was for us. I mean, we were our full selves, but it was,
No, yeah, but
you know
y'all
what I'm saying? So anybody
push
else
a
coming
couple
behind
doors,
us,
yeah,
you know what I
left a
mean?
couple breadcrumbs.
They can get you a little bit more. Oh yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
They can see you a little bit better. It's not 2020, but it's not like they're blind and just can't see you at all. So
And it'll probably never be 2020 until people that made hip hop are executives in the right seats. You know what I'm saying?
but even then, like a lot of these people end up thinking just like the people that came before them. Whenever anything becomes like a strictly like a business or a corporate thing, that's the tendency is for it to be strictly about the ticket sales and the money, and not really about something deeper. So
I definitely concede
that's
to that point, but there's still hope.
that's
There's
yeah.
potential.
I mean, you're in the health and wellness space. I mean, there's
Yeah,
people that they talk that talk, but it's really just about like their funnel strategy and just trying to get
yeah,
people into their
absolutely.
into their stream. And it's not really about helping people. It's really just about
But I think and I see more people like what's homegirl name? Somebody that sells a play off of ice cream, like for the kids, and their whole thing, their marketing and their colors and things, all attracts children. But it's like it's like a healthy. It's not using like white sugar and stuff. Like I see people that are trying to do the thing where they balance the marketing and the business side of
oh
it.
yeah, man, it can be done. It can
While
be done. We're proof of that. I just think that
yeah.
for what it is, it's we're the incentive is towards just getting to the money. You know,
Hmm.
we're talking about us being here. This is 12 years it took us to get here because like this our incentive was, if we wanted to just get to the money, I think we would be different, but our output would be different, our art would be different. Um, Probably how we felt about ourselves would be different. So it's
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong, like it just is what it is. Like the market like determines what people do for the most part, as opposed to like just like what they're actually passionate about.
Yep. That's for sure. That's for sure. I was thinking about that, talking with a different guest, how there's how to put it. It's hard to put it because it's kind of layered. When business is like too far into a certain thing for it to be done in a well balanced way. But I was like, I don't know what to call it exactly, but that scenario. And like one of the things that could and maybe should be done about it is some of the community economics or collective economics practices put forth by people like Claude Anderson and stuff, where we can, and DAWA now, where we can pool. We can pool and not just blindly, but start having a plan together as a community. Maybe not, it's going to take a while before it's all of, like, let's say Black America or all POC America. But,
Yeah.
but like Austin, like East Side Austin can do it. You feel me? You get a couple parents. I was saying in another episode, I was like, parents should probably be on the front lines. Parents and college students should probably be on the front line because that family unit again is very sacred, and there's just a power that's in that when you have some youngins with you, and you have this fire in you and you have this passion and you want to figure it out. So parents coming together, man, you get 5, 6, maybe 10 families on the same page, there's no telling what could happen, in the right direction.
I agree.
Speaking of, I like how smooth these transitions are coming. You must be good luck talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of parents being on the front line, you are a daddy. You are a full
Yeah,
dad.
a whole dad. Like, yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
what's the unexpected? What's so unexpected about how you feel or felt when Mbele first got there?
Mm.
What's unexpected about it? Because I mean, obviously everybody says, oh, it's changed my life. There's so much more love in me now. All of a sudden, and then I'm sure that's real. But like, what's
I was,
unexpected about fatherhood? Yeah,
it's super real. Like, you can't explain it. Like we were talking about earlier. Like, how do you explain love? Like, it's been a million love songs written. There's been a million love poems written, but do they actually capture it? I don't know. I don't. It's you get close. You can get close to the feeling, but like, I don't know, man. It's something. It's something where you. How do I explain it? It's like I'm holding myself.
mm,
It's like I'm looking down and I'm holding myself, and like everything that I give to this self, which is me, like is so is so much. It's the thought and it's just there. Like it's just like this is clear. Like everything that I present to you, like this is me. This is you. I don't know. It's like it's this ancestral connection. It's like I see my grandfather when I look at him sometimes.
mm.
I see my grandmother. I see my mom. I see my dad. It's like this constant. I don't know. It's like right in front of you though, and it's happening like real time. It's this constant reflection, reminder of like where you come from and what's important, and just the responsibility of like your intention and your thoughts and what you just put out into the world because it's like he's right here receiving it. So like whatever you want yourself, you're building like you in a sense. I
Wow,
don't.
yeah.
It's just I don't know, man. It's
No, that
crazy.
makes a lot of. That's
I don't
actually
know,
I
man.
haven't heard that before. Like I mean, I guess, but not like that. Like that. Like that was insightful. I
Yeah,
feel like I'm holding
I don't
myself.
know.
It's like, oh damn, yeah,
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's like, oh, so like, it's like, we're not always kind to ourselves. We're not always like putting
right.
the best thoughts. We're not always telling ourselves the best things about ourselves. So it's like it's really like now like I'm just like, wow, I have to like just pour the best of me into you.
How was it like for you growing up? Like how would you grade your folks? You know what I'm saying? Put
Um,
parents
I
score.
mean, in terms of like safety, like physical safety and security, like 10. Like I never had to worry about food. I never was hungry. I had a high quality of like living standard. Like, I had my
Yeah,
own room. You know what I mean? Like Castle neighborhood would come over and be like, "Oh man, you rich!" Like, cause I had snacks. I had sodas. I never wanted for anything as a child.
like that. Okay.
So safety, security, like on point. Nurturing, kind of spirit, kind of care, uh, not so high, not so high.
Okay.
I think their priorities were, education and like making sure that we're safe. And I think I didn't get a lot of the nurturing and the care, the conversations, just I think that's why it's so important, like DAWA and all these things. Like I'm so about observing and witnessing people and telling them they're valuable. Well, I think that all comes from like, my childhood is like my value was really based on like performance. If I did something that made them happy, then they would express happiness
Hmm.
um,
And you became a performer.
towards me.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't just given to you just for being,
Right.
just like good morning, you're here. Wow, you're just great just because you're here right now. Right.
Right.
And I think, that's based on, how they were raised. It's not like that's how they were raised. Very,
No, no, yeah, 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 absolutely.
very, very achievement based, very, it's like, my dad grew up in poverty and like, it was just like about ach- achievement, like getting out of that and like making sure like, you're not in that survival mode anymore.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, so like yeah, so how would these observations of your own childhood, go into your you could say like your plans, but obviously nothing will go as planned at least
right.
until they're like 12, 13. Then there's maybe some plans will go correctly, but anyway, like how does it transfer over, like observations of how you were raised and how Key was raised, and like
Yeah,
how
man.
y'all got this
I
whole
mean, I think it's just like
package.
really like sharing, we're having a ceremony in October where we're gonna really like introduce him to our community. Because it's been pretty much just me, her, and my mother-in-law pretty much. We've gone out a few times with him. He went to an art show, he's been to like swimming pool and stuff like that, but we haven't done a lot of like a lot of people have even met him yet. Um, so like that ceremony is really about like opening up that pathway and saying like he's a part of us now. He's a part of this community now. We're sharing him with you. Because we can't do it all. It's just like a relationship.
Yeah,
You can't give your partner everything she needs. So she needs friends or she needs
Tensi and I would
mentors.
love to come, by the way.
Oh,
I
come
mean,
through.
if you, yeah,
I'll send you the invite.
thank you. Yeah,
Um, so yeah, so just him knowing that he's got parents around him that aren't us, and that he doesn't just, it's not about him receiving, you know, being accepted by us. It's just about him following whatever drives him and whatever he's passionate about. And if we can't provide that, if we don't have the skills or the skill set or whatever, or the experience or whatever, we got Soul, we got Tensi, we got Damon, we got, Joe B, we got, what I mean, whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like,
real community. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's just there's people here that you can learn from, and go spend an afternoon with Joe. Go spend an afternoon with, these cats. Learn what they're about. Hear some of their stories. Listen to them. What are they telling you? Just learn everywhere you go.
absolutely. If I may, first message from Uncle Soul, you feel me, is life is not about what you do, it's about who you are. So do you.
Mm, that's it.
That's my message to
Um,
all the kiddos. Every time I see my nieces, my two oldest nieces, I ask them, "What is life about?" And they know the answer. It's not what you do, it's who you are.
and and that's gonna even if it hasn't fully like that seed hasn't fully
Oh, it won't
started,
it won't hit till they
they'll get
35.
it. They'll get
Yeah,
it. They'll be
but it'll
driving
hit
down the
though.
street and they'll be like,
I get it.
yeah.
I was tripping. Okay, I'm not tripping no more.
That's why teachers are so important, man. I can't tell you how many times
Man,
like a student will hit me up and be like, "Oh, you said this after class." I'll be like, "I don't even remember that. I don't remember it at all." But it's like it's a memory for them. They're gonna remember that for the rest of their life, and that's just so important, man.
man, youngins, and then even like younger coworkers and stuff. Like when you can just, I think sometimes people are scared to share wisdom to younger people. Does that make sense? Like there's a fear that comes up that, oh, this is a teachable moment. But ah. Whereas I feel like this is the first time that that's a thing. Like there used to be people would tell me wisdom stuff like all the time, like older people that I would be around, whatever, blah blah blah. Even into my young adulthood, but around, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, it just started to slow down and stop. Like people don't just freely give
Mm,
people game.
mm.
Um, and it's hard to come up with an example because, like I said, it's been
Not
like
me,
10
bro. Like
years.
people be like, "All right," like I be giving game all day long. You be like, "Okay, man, I got it."
Yeah, yeah. But I think, yeah, that sharing of wisdom and having not because sometimes having a village is just having a mentality of a village. Like Jordan Peterson is somebody I recently like started kind of listening to just to expand my horizons a little bit, and he talks about it's not a good idea to stop your kid from doing dangerous things carefully
Mm,
because they're going to learn something deeper than you can teach them with words,
mm.
and if you stop them but they were doing it carefully and didn't, then that may be more of a disservice than a service, or
100%. And I
like
think,
people before there was a craze of, oh my god, everybody's kid is being abducted, people used to just send their kids to the park. Go to the park, get out of my face.
mm,
And their friends would be at the park, or their friends would be eventually at the park, and they knew, they probably would check outside the window, but they probably wouldn't go. Like they would do the dishes and do the laundry and do things, and their kid would
yeah,
come home. Their kid would come home.
yeah.
But then,
I didn't even think
yeah,
about that. But yeah,
yeah,
that's true. That was a different time. Like, yeah, you
this corner store, the
right,
and the kid would not disappear. They may run into a bully. They may come back with a bully, but they were coming home.
right.
They was coming home with
True.
no blood on their nose. That's okay. Not that it's not scary, but it's okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's part of the lesson. You got a story to tell now.
Yep.
So
But I'm not a father. I don't know. I'm an uncle for now.
yeah, do you want to have kids?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We already have names. We already have names.
Well, I'm 44, so if that, if that, inspires or whatever. Like, Key was 40 when he was born. Well, after she turned 40 after his birth, but
Hmm.
39 and like almost 40.
Right. 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 15 years in Austin. 15 marriage
15
marriage
years married,
anniversary.
12 years in Austin, 15
12
years.
years in I'm sorry. 15 years married and 15th year anniversary is the birthday.
Yeah, 3:24 a.m.
But you'll never forget.
No,
You'll
no.
never forget it was the anniversary. You know,
Nope. We'll
like that
see.
old
This first
sitcom
one,
trope.
this first one's gonna be interesting. We'll see. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how we plan on, like, 'cause it's always gonna be his birthday.
If
So
it
we got
was me, if it was
okay,
me, I would
okay,
probably just be 100% on the kid's birthday. I'd be like, look, let's do something year 4 when they can fucking walk and talk and tell me that they're hungry and their stomach hurts. When they can do that on a regular, then like we'll start doing anniversary stuff again. But let's just do their birthday for a couple years.
okay. All right.
But I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. We haven't really come to that point where we haven't really talked about it yet, but it's
Yeah,
coming.
like celebration for me is more important when it's celebrating other people for some reason. Just naturally, just my personality, I guess, my temperament is like that. Like I'm way more about celebrating others than I am about celebrating my shit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like that too. I'm like that too. I mean, obviously, like, through what I do. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I love celebrating other people, man. Again, I think it's because early upbringing, like, just feeling like, you should just be celebrated because you're you, not because not because you're productive, or not because you're doing something that, creates some type of meaning out in the world. No, just because you're you.
right. So, my brother, I have one last question to dive into here, and we
Let's
can
get
dive into this one as deeply as you want or as shallow as you want. But the question, and it's not, there's no wrong, it's a no wrong answers kind of question, which I ask all of my guests on the show. What is love for you right now in your journey in your, like you say you 44, but you still young, you know what I'm saying? In your young life, you know what I'm saying? We're all babies here. Even human beings as a species in terms of the earth, we're infants if that, right? We're toddlers if that. So what is love in your current world to Shaka right now?
What is love? I
And I know
mean,
it's a loaded question, but I ask everybody, so it's fair.
nah, man. I don't know. To me, love is just it's eternal, it's unconditional. Um, there's ways that I want to love, but I'm human. But I think like true love is just it's boundless. It's uh it's just it's receiving, it's receptive, and it's giving. Um, but it's giving without any boundary or any like
Strings attached.
any expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Like the earth is love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like you drop bombs on me, you pollute me, you just rape me with all these weird chemicals to produce things fast, quickly, but I'm still coming back. I'm still, you know what I'm saying? I'm not stopping. I love you, and so like that's to me is love. It's just like no matter what, like I'm here. You can't destroy me. You can't take me out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here when you're gone, and I'm here. Yeah, I'm just I am all. I am love. And I guess that's what people call God.
Yes, absolutely. It's another name for God, and yeah, wonderful answer. I like the Earth analogy or metaphor for sure because it's or well example, not even metaphor. I like the example that the Earth is love because it made me think like yeah like you think about a destroyed city, let's say a apocalyptic city or something. We had somebody hit the red button and a bomb went off somewhere, and 10, 10, 15 years, 30 years, weird rainfall that radioactive everything and everything is all fucked up. But then 100 years, 200 years, it's green, it's luscious, it's animals, it's insects, it's ecosystems. The earth is love.
You can't destroy me.
Yeah.
You can't. They be like, save the planet. It's like the planet don't need saving. Save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. Personal
planet don't need saving.
responsibility.
The planet is good. The planet is gonna be here. It's here before
Yeah.
we came. It's gonna be here if we leave. It's gonna be here. Like you ain't taking this out. Only thing taking this out.
I tell you, man, I was on that save the planet for a second when I first got to veganism.
Mm,
First got to veganism, I was like, I wasn't an environmentalist, but I was like, you just see things, you see more litter on the ground when you first go vegan. You know, like you see shit.
right, right. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And but then like no, it's how you say we're kind of joking, making light of it, but it's like no, like save yourself. Like there's an abundance of health here. You don't got to worry about the health here. You know what I'm
And
saying?
to me, it's like, if we destroy ourselves and that was it's meant to be, we just didn't learn a lesson. Like, but regardless, the planet is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
This earth is gonna be fine. If we don't get ourselves together and learn how to, connect with her better, then we may end our potential here on this planet. But the earth is gonna be all right. And it may, like you said, it may take hundreds of years to recover from whatever we do, or thousands or whatever, but it's gonna be an earth.
Well, she can survive what we cannot survive. That when an asteroid from the asteroid belt come through and want to visit, we're dead. She is fine. She gonna have to patch up her shoulder, and
So
then
we
she's
should
gonna be
so
fine.
we should what should that tell us? We should like respect and bow down and honor,
Cherish,
you know what I'm
respect,
saying?
honor. Yeah, like
That's not what it's about here.
yeah.
We're tripping. We out here tripping.
Well, like I said, we're toddlers, if that,
Mm.
as a species. Like me and my man's. I don't know if you probably know Freddie 217. Uh, Freddie. Well,
He's an
anyway, so
art. He's an artist, right?
yeah,
Yeah, he does the
he does
intricate.
t-shirts, pants. He
Oh
does,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah. I
yeah,
haven't
it's
seen
like
him in a
African.
minute.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Well, he
Where you been at?
well he got a little isolated because he um Austin is a very liberal spot, and he's a conservative. He's more on the right side, just in terms of politically.
Interesting.
So yeah, so his what he shared with me, what I'm saying, a little bit is, what I'm saying, his ideas. Well, I said was shared with me, but he shared it publicly first. It was like on Instagram and stuff. Some positive things about Donald Trump and on the
Mm.
economy side and stuff. And his viewpoint is that Donald Trump was the best thing for the economy in at that time, and that Joe Biden was just on some bullshit. And so he got isolated by his own community. He got, it's like there's that weird phenomenon where, since on the left, on the liberal side, on the left side, maybe not liberal, but on definitely on the leftist side of things, there's a lot of outrage culture. There's a lot of cancel everybody and cancel everything that disagrees with my overall viewpoint, which is absolutely not backed by scholarship. It's backed by internet activists, which are also not backed by scholarship. So there's this weird dynamic where a lot of conservatives call it out like this. They'll say, "Well, Black Lives Matter until there's a black police officer, a black conservative, a black person that's a Republican, a black whatever, then their lives don't matter to y'all." And that's kind of true. There's a cancel culture. There's a weird, what they call when they kick you out the tribe, ex uh, exile. There's an exile mentality about people that just have opposing viewpoints.
I think it happens on both sides, man. Because on the conservative side, they're trying to ban abortion, they're trying to ban this, trying to. It's it's the same thing, man. We're
And what
reflections.
what kind of progress can be made when both sides are yelling all the time?
I mean,
If we
yeah, I
need
just
both sides to get the project done, when do
right.
we sit down at the table and draw a plan and then apply that plan? Action, action, action. Right? When do we? We
Well, I think
can't
you
just be
know
mad
it's
forever. I'm sorry.
that that group of people with quote unquote leadership is not they're not leadership. They're just playing roles. So like I don't have any faith at all in them coming to a table or whatever. Most of them, like if you really sit down and talk to them, they don't really know much about anything. A whole lot.
No, they
They don't
don't.
know anything. They just they just raise money to win elections, and then they sit in these seats and you know they don't have any plans for us and all the things that we're facing as a society, as
Yeah, a lot of
humans.
them don't know us no more.
Yeah,
Like
they don't have no vision. So it's
once you
like,
get out of
man,
city council and you start moving up from there, you kind of don't know us no more sometimes.
they don't. Man, it's a game. That's a game, man.
Hmm.
Like my man Dick Gregory said, it's a game.
I don't
It's a
play.
game.
I don't have no jersey. I
Right?
don't have no jersey on that court for sure.
Nah, man. Forget all
But
that.
um, but that's loosely what happened with Freddie's. He got he got canceled, I guess, by his own community. And Freddie is not, and Freddie is definitely a soldier out here for us. Like he's not, but you can't have an opposing viewpoint. So I still fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah. It's just interesting
like
to me.
like
I know
like,
like a lot of his artwork had like indigenous and like so I
and
was
it's
interested
brilliant.
that he went Trump with it. That's so interesting.
Well. Okay. Anyway, because
Next we'll talk next episode. You can edit this out, but yeah,
yeah, nah, yeah, because yeah, people's opinions go deeper than what is shown on major news stations. You know what I'm saying? People form their opinion based on like a whole their journey of coming to a conclusion. But nah, yeah, man, thank you a billion times for coming through the Expression of Love podcast. Um, you already went over how to connect with you via DAWA. That was
Mm-hmm.
DAWAheals.org. Yes, awesome
Uh-huh.
sauce. I'm gonna give myself a point for remembering.
All right.
But how can people connect with Roz and with you otherwise?
Yeah, so Riders Against the Storm, if you're on Instagram, it's just at Ross Hip Hop, RASHIPHOP. If you want to connect with me directly, if you're on Instagram, you can find me at Chaka, CHAKAC, like I see you, and then Lect. So it's SEELECT, Chaka C Lect. And those are great ways to reach out. I hope to hear from you.
Not gonna lie, bro. I thought it was select spelled wrong for the longest time, but I was like,
Nah,
he probably was just like, nah, let's just leave it.
nah, like see, like
Like select,
yeah,
right?
one of my gifts is being able to see people in their talent and being able to like kind of like pull their talents and like help them grow. So like I'm a selector, select.
Some air dap for you, man. Appreciate you coming through the show. We out here.
Expressions of love.